of Florida Crime Prevention Practitioner. With that, I give you
all right.
Deputy Kelley to talk about identities.
Don't clap yet. You haven't heard me talk. Setting me up for failure already. So,
Julie, do we want
if you what's that?
No.
Do we want the lights on while I help with the video?
This is fine.
Yeah, he's good right there.
Fine.
If you don't have a brochure, they're on the tables all throughout the thing here. There's a pen here if you want to take some notes. There's keychains up here. And then I do have some big booklets up here for after the class. This is if your ID has been taken and you need help like getting things restored and ways to file reports, take this book with you. But if you haven't had it stolen, this is not going to do you any good. So if you know somebody or if you've been the victim within the last 3 months or so, take this. But like I said, if you haven't been a victim, you don't need this book. This is just basically a victim's book and helps you kind of get everything back in order. So if you know someone or you need it, take it by all means, and I have more in the car for you. So we're going to start with talking about ID theft, and we're going to talk about some of the ways that they get it, what they do with it when they have it, how do they get it, like what devices are they doing? I mean, are they just stealing it out of your wallet, or are they getting it from a restaurant that you were at, or a gas pump you went to? We'll show you a video on how the gas pump thieves kind of get it, and you'll be surprised at how easy it is. And then we'll just talk about some ways maybe to prevent ways of your ID being stolen. And then we'll talk at the end about credit card versus debit card. So for those of us that use debit cards every day, maybe this will change your mind into going to the bank and getting a credit card and using your credit card. And we're going to see all the pros and cons. And it should be pretty eye-opening to you on the differences. So, I mean, I even, up to probably last year, I've used debit almost all my life. But now I'm switching over and I'm using credit in certain places. So we'll talk about the pros and cons to that. With ID theft, it's a term that refers to fraud that involves someone pretending to be someone else in order to steal money or get other benefits. There is no financial loss necessary. If I just steal your ID and use it as me, say getting into a club, you know, a young man steals someone else's ID that's 21 and he's only 19 but looks the same. If he memorizes what the date of birth and the address, he can pretty much use that person's ID. So really, that's ID theft. When we start getting into financial loss, that's when it becomes very complex. A lot of times they're taking your ID and they're opening credit cards, and then it becomes multi-jurisdictional because they're out buying things. And sometimes even your stuff is used globally. They'll sell it on a black market. So your ID could be stolen, could be traded, and next thing you know, somebody in Hungary or the Ukraine or Russia or China is using your identity to buy stuff. So it makes it a little hard to track these people down sometimes. It is frequently linked to gangs and drugs and terrorism. Almost all the 9/11 hijackers had some sort of fake ID that they used to gain something, whether it was a driver's license, a bank account, rental of a property. They had some sort of a fake ID that they used. The individual's identity that's been compromised may suffer various consequences if they're held responsible for their actions of the perpetrator. We see this a lot with twins. You'll have one good twin, one bad twin. Pretty simple to memorize the birth date, right? Born the same day. You know his name. You lived with him probably for the first 18 years of your life. You might even remember his social. You get pulled over. There's a Billy and a Bobby. Billy's the bad twin. He uses Bobby's name for 2 or 3 times getting pulled over and doesn't say, oh, I just don't have my license, look me up. And you look him up, yep, you're good. What we'll do is we'll take a thumbprint of you if you don't have a driver's license. A lot of times we can verify through the pictures that we get, but we'll still usually take a thumbprint. We'll stick it on the back of that ticket. Young man I pulled over on the interstate back when I worked with the Highway Patrol, same situation. Didn't have any ID. I don't remember if the system was up or down at the time, but couldn't verify his picture. He didn't have any other ID on him. So I wrote him the ticket, got his thumbprint. What happened? About 3 months later, the good brother gets pulled over, and what is he told? Oh, you got an unpaid traffic ticket. No, I don't. Yeah, you do. You got a couple of them, actually. So they went into the system, realized that they pulled that ticket that I had with that thumbprint, ran the thumbprint, found out it was his brother using his ID. So luckily he was cleared. But you can see, you could actually get arrested on the side of the road. What if he had had a bunch of bad checks that he wrote under your brother's name? And then you get pulled over, there's a warrant for your arrest. You could get taken to jail on your brother's or sister's identity problems. So you can suffer some consequences if they get you good. Some of the stats of being a victim, a violent crime in your lifetime, probably 1 in 5,000. A heart disease, 1 in 2,600. A car accident, 130. Today, ID theft is about 1 in 6. In about 5 years, it's going to be 1 in 4. That just tells me what? It's going up. You're more likely to be a victim of that ID theft than you are a car accident, heart disease, anything else. So you need to really pay attention and write some good stuff down, or take note, of what I'm telling you, because if you're not protecting yourself now, anybody in here been a victim of ID theft? One? That's what, you can raise your hand. It's not like you did something wrong. A lot of times we're very unsuspecting. We used it somewhere. Fraud charges. Someone opened ID. Someone filed taxes under your social. How many people raise your hand again? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people in here. That's almost 1/3 of the room. Anybody go to file taxes and we're told that somebody already filed under your number?
No.
That's the one that scares you, because you go to file your income tax and they run your social to put it in, and they're like, oh, someone's already claimed that number this year and has already got a claim back. You can't file now. Now you have to wait. Got to call the IRS. You got to file a police report. Then the IRS sends a form saying, oh, your stuff's been compromised. Then they're going to send you a number that goes along with your Social Security number. So when you file the next year, you're going to file with your social, and then you're going to have to enter like this 6 or 8-digit number to follow it that says this is really me. Because when they run that social, it's going to be flagged as being fraudulent. Okay, so your number will be fraudulent if someone just tries to file with it. They're going to say, nope, you need that password to actually file. All right, so it gets pretty ugly. Shows here the millions of victims and the billions of dollars. We're looking at, over the last 7, 10 years, 11 million victims, 10 million, 10 million, 12, 13. These are all millions of victims. And then we get into the dollar amounts: 32 billion, 28 billion, 28 billion, 31 billion. Even on a shorter year, even though there was more victims, less in billions. Here, less victims, more in billions. So it just depends on what they get at the time. But we as consumers take the hit on that most of the time, right? Where prices go up, insurance goes up, everything that they're doing causes our rates to go up. So as you can see, it's not a victimless crime. Even though we might not be a victim, we're having to pay for it in the long run because of the prices that have to go up to cover all this loss. Things that they're looking for, the information that we're talking about that really gets them excited, is personal identifiers. I've seen black market web pages where they're selling your information overseas most of the time, and it's an advertisement. It's almost like a black market Craigslist. Hey, I have the name, the date of birth, social security number, and an MMN of somebody, mother's maiden name. If I have your name, your date of birth, your social, and your mother's maiden name, can I not call your credit card company and pretend to be you and pretty much get anything I want? They only ask you like 2 forms. What's your social? What's your birth date? Okay, how may I help you? Yeah, can you raise my credit limit to $20,000, please? And I need a PIN number sent to this address because I need to take some money out in the next month or so to buy a car. Oh, no problem, sir. Your stuff's gone. A month later, you're going to get a bill saying your account's wiped out. So, some of these numbers are very important to these thieves, especially like a checking routing number. If they can figure out what bank you belong to and get your routing number, they have access to your checking, your savings, your money market, your retirement, your IRAs, anything that you have in that bank, they can get access to. So these are the personal identifiers. Passport number, not so much, but it does link to your name. Address, phone numbers, passwords, email addresses, employer numbers. We see a lot of employee numbers or socials sometimes, or variants of it. Former names, if you've been married, anything. Medical records are all attached to what? Some sort of number that you have been issued, whether it's a social security number, or driver's license number, or the last letter of your name and the last 4 of your social. Some variant of some number that you have is usually attached to it. Down the road, I think these personal identifiers will get hopefully a little harder, because we'll probably start using fingerprints and biometric. I can see the day, 10, 20 years from now, you're going to walk up to an ATM machine and they're going to have a little thing here, and you're going to put your head in front of it and it's going to scan your eye and it's going to identify you. Okay? Or you're going to walk up and have to put your thumb in something and scan your eye as a double biometric thing. Because when you go to Busch Gardens now and you got an annual pass, how do they identify you? You walk up, stick that finger on there, you wait about 10, 15 seconds, boop, the gate opens, you go in. Okay, so they're even using that technology at Busch Gardens. It's very hard to steal your eye, your retina print. Very hard to get your thumbprints. You'd have to, take it off of something and then overlay it on your thumb to push down. It'd just be very hard. Will it be compromised in the future? Possibly. It just depends on what technology we got. So what makes it easy? This is kind of where we start getting into the scary part. We're very careless with a lot of things we do with our cards. We do a lot of unsafe surfing on the internet. Sometimes we get these new laptops, and you're just, all you know really how to do is turn it on, and then you see internet, and you go to it, and you don't realize that you have to set firewalls. There's encryption that you can set up there so no one else can see what you're doing online. But then, as soon as we get on the internet, we're maybe signing up for online banking, or we're going to on a vacation, and we go into a hotel lobby, and we log in, we want to check our account. We have no idea if there's a piggyback in the back of that computer storing what you're doing, keylogger. It could be transmitting Bluetooth enabled to someone else's computer in that lobby. It could just be capturing keystrokes. You have no idea what could be attached to that computer, especially in a public area. So be very careful and vigilant about going to a public computer. If you're going to Google search your flight information, that's one thing. But if you're going on a public computer and you're typing in your credit card number, or you're going onto your bank account and moving money around, I would say don't do it. Okay, it's dangerous. Stick to your cell phone. Believe it or not, your cell phone has more encryption on it than any public computer in a thing. You want to get her in here? Because she's not going to be able to see or hear. Come on in. There's plenty of seats.
Sorry, I'm late.
There's some seats over here.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. So yeah, be very careful about doing any online banking or looking up any. Even when we forget our bank account information, say you go to sign in, and it'll say, "Oh, forgot your password. Click here," and it'll send you an email to your account. Well, if we're on a public account, a public Wi-Fi or a computer in a hotel, and we click on that email, if there's a tracker on there, they might get your email account. Then now they have your what? Your password to your bank account if you haven't reset it. And it just takes, the person could be sitting in the lobby the same time you're getting that password, they're getting it. And they could be logging in the same time to Wells Fargo. And if they have a Wells Fargo account, bank account to bank account in the same institution, you don't need any certain password. You can just transfer. I want to transfer to this account number. Now, if I'm transferring Wells Fargo to Bank of America, I'm going to need certain codes and certain numbers to do that. So bank to bank, if it's the same institution, very easy to switch money around. A lot of us aren't using any kind of antivirus software. We'll open unknown emails and attachments, and we'll download a virus to our computer, and that thing might steal all our email addresses and start sending out spam email to all your friends. Okay, how many of you have had that? You ever gotten an email from somebody and it looks like it's from a relative, and you're like, you open it and it's just this weird line of numbers and letters and a blue line, and you're supposed to click it? Don't do that. Okay, if it doesn't start out, "Hi, Aunt Jenny," or "Hi, Grandpa," whatever, don't. Or if it just says, "Open this, awesome picture," don't do it. You better call them and say, "Did you just send me a picture?" No. Delete. Don't open that thing. Because if you have no antivirus software and no firewall, that thing's going to eat your computer up, and it's going to be attached to everything you're doing. If you go to, I believe it's Microsoft Security. If you just Google Microsoft Security, I believe it's a free security that you can download on your computer. Unless you're using Apple. Right there, Microsoft Security, Internet Safety and Security Center. That's free. You click that, you're going to go right to this thing. It's free stuff. Okay, you don't have to go to Best Buy and buy it. You just download it. Hurry up now, free download. Okay, so you got the Safety and Security Center right there for Microsoft. It protects your computer, it updates it, it fixes it if there's stuff there. It's a no-brainer. All you got to do is basically just get on there and start looking through it, and you'll figure out how to download it. If you have nothing on your computer safety-wise, you better get this at a minimum, because they will update it frequently, and they'll do stuff to help protect you. So make sure you're using something. Use some sort of safety antivirus software. Sometimes, how many of us have a mailbox, and we stick a check in there to mail to somebody, and we just stick the flag up? You're advertising to everybody, "Hey, something's in here. Hi. Hi, I've got something in me. Come look at it. Come grab it." If I steal your check, and I use certain fluids, I can wash the name out of 2 and put my name in there, and then I cash it. But what else do I have besides the cash now?
The bank account number.
Your name, your address, your bank account number, what bank you go to, your signature. Powerful stuff. You better be finding one of those big blue boxes, or taking it to a mail center, or start online banking through a secure site. Okay? If you're sticking checks in the mail still and just sticking them in your mailbox, somebody can come by, and it's just a matter of time. Someone's going to get a hold of that check, and it's live. They're going to cash it, but they're also going to photocopy it, and I have all your information. Be careful about that. American way of doing business, ATM debit cards. We love our debit cards. We can go to 7-Eleven and buy a Slurpee for $1.07, okay, with our debit card. We can go to any restaurant, we can go to any gas station, we can go to any retail outlet, debit, 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 debit. Okay, that's the way we do. We do online purchasing too. Craigslist, eBay, everything we do online. If you got Apple and you're downloading music, you buy stuff, airline tickets, cruises. Here's my card number, here's my card number, here's my card number. What happens, say, if, what's your name again?
Julie.
Julie works at a flower shop, and I'm calling in moms for some flowers, but Julie is a 16-year-old girl just working there. The computer system goes down, but she knows to order flowers, I need to put the to and from and the credit card information and what I'm ordering. I need a dozen long stem to my mom. Here's her address, here's my address. She's going to ask for what?
Credit card.
Payment. Yeah, I need a payment. Here's my credit card number. Now the computer system's down, so what's she going to do?
Write it down.
She's going to write it. So here's my name, here's my credit card number, here's my expiration, here's my little digit on the back, my 3 digits on the back. So then the computer system comes back up, she enters it all. What does she do with that piece of paper she wrote it on?
Goes in the garbage.
Toss it in the garbage. She doesn't care. So I'm dumpster diving behind businesses, tearing bags up. I go grab 5 or 6 bags behind businesses. I take them to my garage, I open them up, start laying stuff out. And here I am, with a nice piece of paper with 4 or 5 people's credit card information because her system was down. Okay, if we used our debit card during that transaction, they can just go right to your account and wipe it. So that's why we're going to talk about using a credit card. Because if we use a credit card, guess what? They're going to steal the credit card's money, not yours. So that's why you got to be very careful with that online purchasing. Do you know when you make an online purchase what it should say up on top? When you're using a web page?
Secure.
Yeah, up. Secure. If you can see right here how it says HTTP,
Right.
there should be, if you go there, an S.
Should be an S.
Yeah, right next to it. Okay, and that's going to show you that that site is secure. Also, there's a little lockdown here. This will show you if things are being blocked or not. But some pages are being spoofed, which means that they're being copied, and they're say you get an email from your bank saying, oh, we're just doing a yearly check, we need you to enter your information, and it looks like there's an S on there, and it looks like a lock, and you think everything's good. They're copying this stuff. So that's what I mean. You got to be careful with, even if you do see some stuff that looks like this locked and you got the S up there, they can still be copying stuff and still using it against you. So we don't want you to fall for those online emails like that. So we do a lot of online stuff, debit cards, with all our purchases. Believe it or not, there are how-to crime training manuals out there, instructions and tools available on how to steal identity. They're not sold at Walmart or Target, things like that. They're usually not third world countries, but just Russian, Ukraine, just Eastern Bloc countries. Maybe Japan and China have some. They're against the law to have, but people will buy them, you know, globally. So people can get access to this stuff. Again, we're a very cashless society. That's what makes identity theft easy, is we don't like to carry a lot of cash with us. Some older people do. Some people, that's the way they've just, always take 100 or 200 out, and I just pay with cash with everything. That's a good way to be sometimes. But now that the easiness of just using debit or credit makes us cashless. Our Social Security number, was it meant to be linked to all that stuff? No. Back in the day, it was just meant, you know, run your taxes, and if you were in the military, I know I heard a couple of Air Force guys talking, that's how you were identified. You had like the last digit of your name and your last 4 of your social, or they'd use your whole social. Old military ID cards used to have your social on there. So not only did you have your Social Security card with your number on it you had to worry about, but also your military ID you had to have a number. Now they've got away from that. If you notice, you guys still in
they have new cards on.
Yeah, you got the new CAT cards now. There's no social on those. I'm still in the reserves, Air Force Reserves right now. They've changed it over the last 5 years or so. All the cards have now been transferred over. There's no Social Security number on there to identify you. So, but we see it on medical records, we see it on employment records, we see it on when you ask for a credit card, they ask for your social. Taxes, done by social. Bank accounts, use social sometimes to help link you together. So, just Social Security number is a very important number to keep protected. Identity theft, the problem is it's the fastest growing crime in the United States. Very high profits with a lot of low risk. If I was selling drugs on the street corner, what's my worries for the day?
Please.
Police?
Yeah.
What else? Just police. That's all I got to worry about is the cops driving by.
The bad guy around.
Yeah, rival dealers.
Gang
violence. People robbing me, taking my stuff. The weather. You know, is it raining, lightning? I can't stand outside and sell drugs. It was raining. So there's a lot of worries when you're outside doing stuff like that. Do I have to worry about anything if I'm sitting inside my house using the computer to sending thousands of emails to people trying to get them to send me money? No. I might get caught if I stay on that one computer for too long, but what do you think these guys do? You think they stay on this computer for a year with the IP address, or you think they move around? Yeah, I'm going to go to a library, I'm going to go to a hotel lobby, I'm going to buy one of these maybe every month, switch it out, log in different places. That IP address is going to change so many times it makes it almost impossible for us to track them down because they're constantly getting out of stuff. Okay, they're not just sitting in their house with the same computer. They're moving around, but it's very high profit for them because if they send out 1,000 emails and 5 people respond to them and send them $250 that day, pretty good payout for a day of sitting in your drawers. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to get dressed up. You don't got to shave. You don't have to do anything. You don't got to clock in, clock out. I mean, think about the profits. Could be great. $250 a day for 30 days. You made a good paycheck. Cost for consumers, again, nearly $48 billion a year. If we average it, about $12 billion for the financial industry.
Wow.
So it's just millions and billions of dollars just being gone, being taken from us. The revolution in technology is making it an easy crime to commit. Back in the day, identity theft was very hard because guess what they didn't have in the 60s and 70s?
Computers.
Yes.
They didn't have the technology. They had to do it the old school way. We had to actually steal your stuff.
Yeah.
You could go to your home or go to your car or, find receipts, things like that. Nowadays, this online thing, it's a weird animal. You know what I mean? You can pet it, it can be very nice, and then it can turn around and just bite you and hurt you. It's a good thing and it's a bad thing all in the same time. It just depends on how it's used. Again, that complexity of the crime can make it very hard to prosecute. If he is working at a restaurant and he's swiping cards for me on a little device, which I'll show you later, and he gets, say, 100 names over a weekend, and I say, hey, for every name you get me, I'm giving you $10. So he gets me 100 names at $10 a pop. He just made, what, $1,000? Pretty good for a waiter. Now I take those names. Yes.
What information is he giving you?
We're going to show. He's swiping your credit card as, say, like you're at a Olive Garden.
Right.
Do you always see where they go to the terminal, or do they take your stuff and then kind of disappear in the back for a minute?
Yep.
Okay, and they always have aprons on. Those are the ones that I worry about the most. They have aprons because they can conceal stuff. Or they could stick a little device maybe even behind the register that you're not going to see. And we're going to show you what the device looks like. But they're swiping it real quick. That's all you got to do is swipe it. And just put it away. Because as soon as they swipe it, it just downloads all that information off the card. Then they go to the terminal, they swipe your card, print out your receipt, and they give you your stuff. You sign, you're done. You don't realize your card was swiped twice. When I say swipe twice, it doesn't mean the first time he swiped it was for your food. The first time he swiped it was to steal your identity off the card and just store it. The second time is for your food. So you're only going to see the one charge. About 30 days later, you're going to get a call that, hey, you owe us some money. You open up your credit card, and now you charge $10,000 and stuff. But he steals 100 names. I take it, I download this here, I go to the black market, I get 6 buyers in this second row. They all buy 20 of them. Then they take those and they make credit cards off the information, and they get a couple buyers. They go buy some electronics, some computers, because we need constant computers to switch around the IP addresses. They ask them to maybe buy some high-priced electronics, and they're going to go sell those in other countries where it's hard to get stuff like that. See what I mean? Like, how do you track all these people down? It's almost impossible. And she might be in Russia, she might be in Yugoslavia, she might be in China, you might be in Ukraine. It's like, you think I'm just going to fly over to all these places and look for you guys? Do you think I speak 15 languages and have jurisdiction? I can carry... No, like, it's hard. Okay, it's very hard to track some of these people down. I might get him. Okay, and I might get 1 or 2 of you if you're in the United States. But once you're outside the United States, Interpol, foreign relation, it just depends on what's going on. It's almost impossible. So the complexity make it very hard. Husband and wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, roommate situations. Hey, he stole my credit card out of my wallet and went and bought a big TV. We go to Walmart, we look at the video, there's your roommate, there's a big TV, case solved, right? That's easy. That's the nickel and dime stuff. Well, I'm talking this global stuff. hard. Okay? I'm not talking about the little roommate, boyfriend, girlfriend issues. I'm talking about when they swipe your stuff and sell it on the black market. About 3,100 victims daily. The average time to correct your credit history once it's been compromised, about 330 hours. Could be a little less, could be a little more, depending on how many things they got from you. That means you're going through this book. You know, it's not like... And the problem with ID theft is you never know how deep did they get you. They steal your bike from your garage or your carport. You know what they got.
Yeah.
Oh, there's my... The only thing missing is my bike. Okay, they got my bike. They get your identity. You don't know if they open credit cards, if they've opened home loans, if they've opened phone accounts, if they've bought stuff, if they've created driver's licenses in your name, if they're, you know, it could be multi-pieces of identity and credit that they're just bombing you with, and you don't even know it. That's why you got to get a book like this, and then you got to sit there and go through, I don't even know how many pages are in this thing. 50, almost 70 pages of information in here. We got to place an initial fraud alert. We got to order our credit reports. We got to create an identity theft report to the police department. We got to review these. We got to dispute the errors. We got to block some of the stuff that we're doing. We got to get copies of the documents identity thieves used. We got to look at all our checking accounts and find out they've been compromised. Our credit cards have been compromised. Bankruptcy might have been filed in your name. Did they open accounts in your name? Debt collectors are going to start calling you, so you got to start dealing with them. Is your government-issued identification been compromised? Your social and your driver's license? Utilities, did they open, you know, home loans and utilities in your names? Income taxes, medical ID, child identity, all that stuff can happen. And that's what I mean. This book is just tells you how to do step by step. So that's the problem, is you never know. So what do you think you want to do? Do you want to do just one step, or do you want to protect yourself entirely? Yeah, so that's why you got to get this book and figure out how to protect yourself from A to Z. You never know really how far they got you. Some of the ways that they'll get you with identity theft is phishing with the PH. It's not a spelling error. That means that these people send emails to you. And it's basically like I'm going to send out an email to everybody in here. Hey, it's Billy, or Grandma, it's me. I'm stuck in a jail in Mexico. I need you to mail me $250 via Western Union to bail me out. I don't want Mom and Dad to know. They'd be so mad. Some of you might be like, oh my gosh. How many of you got grandkids? Okay, like, you know, somebody might fall for it. Might get $250 from one of you. Okay, so that's a phishing type of thing. Some of you might get this Nigerian 419 letter scam. I am a prince in Sudan. My country's being overrun. I have $30 million, but I need to get it to an American bank. If you open a bank account for me, I'll let you have, you know, 1%. You know, I need to get this money to you. Please send me your bank account information so I can deposit this money, blah, blah, blah. No, don't do that. Okay, it's just a scam. Work at home, reshipping, repacking. You know, if you buy, I'm going to send you stuff, and then you're going to repack it and reship it somewhere else, and you get to keep 5% of the money. And no, you're one of those people that are involved in that whole scam. You don't get stuff. You don't go to Walmart and buy a TV for somebody and then ship it to somebody else and keep $50. There's just something wrong with that. Okay, there's something wrong. Lottery winner, anybody win the lottery in here? Through Canada, Mexico? Nobody? Nobody's got a I won the lottery thing. Not an email, a letter, not a phone call. And I got some stuff. I need to bring it in. I need to start copying it and put it on here, because sometimes people will be like, yeah, what'd you get?
I inherited $8 million.
Congrats. Oh, here we are eating donuts. We should be having caviar for breakfast. You know that. Where did it come from?
I'm not sure. I just asked him to direct deposit it since they had my number.
Haven't got it yet? Doggone.
Still waiting.
When you win the lottery, do they know your name? If you went and played the $173 million Powerball tonight and won, would they call you tomorrow and go, congratulations?
No.
What do they know?
No.
They know nothing.
Just
They
the
know
ticket
the
number.
lottery
Where it
number.
was just where you bought it.
Where you bought it. That's it. They know the terminal it was sold from. They're not going to call you. They're not going to email you. They're not going to say, hey, you won $173 million, but we need the taxes up front. And as soon as you send those, we'll release that money to you. That's the way they get you with these. You won. I'll get to you. You've won, but we got to release the tax money first. So you got to send us a Western Union for $5,000, and we'll send this $1 million to you. People will do this. You're sitting there going, no way. People do it every day. Okay, we get victims. I've sent money. Oh, we didn't receive it yet. and it's expiring in 24 hours. If we don't receive your money, we're going to release it to the next person. So we need to get another Western Union tonight, or we're going to release it. They mail another $5,000. Okay, they'll get you coming and going. Yes, ma'am, in the back.
I received several letters similar to that, and one of them had a return address on it.
Mm-hmm.
And I went and checked, and I went, and there was a storefront down at Pinellas Park.
Really?
Yeah. They had one desk inside.
Did you give it to the police, or?
No, I just took it because I had called somebody, and they said, just ignore it. So
A lot of times if you're not the victim, if you haven't responded, you've never given money, you haven't talked to them, you're truly not a victim. They've tried to get you.
I received several of them.
Yeah.
So I decided to go and investigate it, and that's what it was. A storefront on 49th Street in
Wow.
Pinellas Park.
Hmm. You could maybe call St. Pete, see if they're well, you might want to call Pinellas Park Police Department and see if they're interested in it. Just tell them, hey, this place is sending me mail. Yeah, call Pinellas Park Police Department. Maybe the desk will take them. Say you can mail them in even, but you know, you tell them that there's a storefront trying to get money from me. I haven't responded, but maybe your identity theft, you know, detectives can look at it, or your economic crimes.
It's a letter copying the clearinghouse.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, they'll use logos from everything that's popular. How many of you have gone to McDonald's or Walmart in the last 30 days? Yeah, like everybody, right? That's what they'll. Yeah, they'll spoof the logo. They'll look at a Walmart page and copy and paste all the stuff, and then they'll send this efficient email. Oh, if you've been to Walmart in the last 30 days, please click here. Okay, click. Please rate our service with these 10 questions, and win a $25 gift card. So you do it, and it hits next. And then it says, please enter your checking account or credit card information, and we'll deposit this money directly to your account.
Delete.
Okay. Yeah, like, people do it. Because it looks good. And it's free. Okay, so watch out for the lottery. My thing is, have you ever been to Canada? Have you ever been to the country where you won the lottery? No. That should be your first suspicion right there, not to do anything with it. This counterfeit payment or cashback, I'm going to sell this cup on eBay. So he responds back, I like your cup. I'm going to sell it for $500. He goes, you know what? I like that cup so much that I'm going to send you 1,000. $500 for the cup, $250 extra for you so you can mail it to me, and I want you to package it nice so it doesn't break, and then I want you to mail me $250 cash back with the cup. So I get this $1,000 check, I cash it, I box it up real nice, get him a money order for $250, put it in the box, so now I've mailed him the cup and $250, and I've kept $240 because it cost me $10 to mail it. About 10 days later, what's going to happen?
Check's gonna bounce.
Yeah. Hey, this is Wells Fargo. That $1,000 check you cashed just bounced. We're going to need our money back. How much money is gone already? $250 is gone. The cup that I sold for $500 is what? Gone. Now I can't sell it anymore. And I've got $240 that I've had 7 days to spend. Do you think I might have hit, you know, the Hard Rock over there, maybe nickeled it away? You could really be out $1,000 quickly.
Yeah.
Don't fall for that. Don't fall for, oh, you've been so generous, we'll give you a little bit of No, nobody in their right mind is going to give you an extra $500 to do a little favor for them. I mean, come on. Okay, if it sounds too good to be true, it usually is. Okay? So send me back the difference, counterfeit payments, all that stuff.
Maybe.
This key logging, like I told you before, they can get on these things. They can, you know, get your account numbers. They can see where you're entering. You know, they can see Wells Fargo. They can see the password. They can see the screen name stuff. That key logging will get you in trouble too. Not used as much, but the technology is out there for them to just attach a small device like this, very small, like that little black thing right there, onto a computer in the back somewhere, and it's just capturing everything that you're doing. This right here shows the states with the highest ID theft in red.
Florida.
Yeah, it's like, hello.
We're always right up there.
A lot of retirees, all the people from here, you know, after, like, right before Thanksgiving, all come to this little peninsula right here. So, yeah, we see a lot of just northerners that come to Florida, and we see a lot of just elderly victims in Florida for about 6 months, and they're just victims. Florida's #1. What do you think #1 city in Florida?
Oh, God.
Miami.
Yeah, Miami's got their own task force. They're so bad down there. They got their own, not their own police. Like, we've got a few they've got a task force. Like, every police agency in Miami, Broward, Fort Lauderdale sends like 3 or 4 people. So they've got like these 40 or 50 people that go around and do all day, because it's so bad down there.
Oh, man.
They steal Social Security numbers to collect phony tax returns. Nowhere more than in Florida. The nearly 40,000 complaints in Florida last year, more than half related to government documents and benefits. 195,000 complaints in Florida. That's a lot. 195,000.
Second most.
Yeah.
What's the first complaints?
The stats were, I think, a year or two behind, but Florida was number one.
Yeah.
This was copied from something else. It wasn't attached to this, but you can see Michigan's number 4. It's not even lit up here.
Yeah, okay.
I think it's a year off, but Florida right now is number 1, with Miami being the number 1 city.
Wow.
So be careful. We're in this number 1 state. Let's take a look at some pictures. What is that?
That's an ATM.
It sure is. Yeah, we go up to it. It shows us basically how to stick our debit card in there. Like the picture should be up here, and we stick it in, we pull it out, or we stick it in and it takes it, and then we punch in our numbers, and then we look at the screen and we punch in this, or we touch that, and then the money comes out, or we deposit. So that's kind of a normal ATM machine. There's a light bar up here. Sometimes on the side there's those envelope holders if you want to make a deposit. Every once in a while they'll have a push button that says emergency. This is for like a hearing impaired. So this really doesn't look crazy on this thing. Like, would you be like alarmed if you walked up to it?
No.
Looks normal.
Not really. I mean, it looks pretty normal. Now, if you were to walk up to this thing and either take like a small knife or something and stick it under the corner right here and just kind of pry it back, this whole piece would come off.
Wow.
All this stuff right here, this little line, and it's hard to see. There's like a web line, like a glue line that goes to the back of it. This is all, blue stuff is all sticky. It's like a double-sided sticky. What they do is they walk up and they put that right over the top of where you put your card. And what that is a card reader. This little white device right here is reading your magnetic strip as it goes in, and then it transmits it to here and it stores it here. So when I pry this thing off, I then take this little chip out, plug it into a computer, and it reads all the information that was stored on there. So basically this is not a good overlay. This is something that was glued onto the front. They'll usually put it on like a Friday night because nobody's working at the bank Saturday, Sunday. So we glue it onto the front. Sunday afternoon we come and we pry it off, we take that chip out, and we download everybody's information that used it that weekend. So that's a bad overlay right there. They basically placed it right over the slot where you put your card in, and they're now capturing your card information. This is going to be a keypad overlay. This is where they'll take a keypad, stick it right over there, and as you punch in the numbers in, it's capturing the numbers, your password. I would say anytime you go to a bank, I want you to put your hand over this and do your 4-digit code. Because a lot of times if they're not capturing it with the keypad, they're using a camera somewhere. And they'll attach them to the envelope holders. They cut a hole out in the bottom right here. They put that right onto the side of the thing, so as it's on the side, the camera's pointing down at the keypad, so they're watching you punch your number in. That's a keypad overlay capture. Hard to defeat that. Even if you have your hand over there, it's still capturing your number.
But it also still, the machine will still function.
Right, these little nubs right here are still pushing the numbers. They don't want anything to go wrong. They don't want any suspicion raised. They don't want you to think like, why isn't it working? They want you to use it. They want you to put your number in. They want you to take your money in your card and leave. They don't want anything to go wrong because then it prevents them from getting more numbers. So everything's going to work properly. This is the half picture. Okay, this is what it looks like from the outside. But if we walk up and pry it off, there's the cup overlaying the other cup. And as you can see, there's a wire coming right here, which is where the VIN number, or the little magnetic strip comes out, and it goes right up into here, into the reader. And it's storing it right up there. Okay? A lot of these things you never even notice. Very hard to detect.
I've got a question.
Yes?
Some of the banks are using a siren system. If someone actually puncture anything if the siren goes off, is that true?
I don't know about that, because really they're not puncturing anything. They're simply just laying stuff over the top. They're taking stuff and putting it on the top.
But you use that one guy with the knife that cut the card out. He's actually opening it up, isn't he?
No, he wasn't.
Not.
You're talking about the picture I talked about earlier?
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
That right there, I'm saying this whole square piece is fake. It's basically just placed over, it's like glued on.
Oh, okay.
So all they're doing is taking two things that look exactly alike. So this is where, say you put your card right here. they're just putting something else right over the top of it and making a strip right here, and you're basically still sticking your card through. So the card goes in, the card comes out, but this one was the reader. So all I do is I come up later, I take a knife, whatever, and I stick it on top, and I just pry this piece off and just pull that off. Now I've got all my information stored in here. This is still the bank's ATM reader. Still cards can go through. Basically, I take this home with me, take the chip out, and download it. So they don't break into the machine. They're basically just taking something and putting it over the top that fits just like it. So I'm still sticking my card in, I'm still getting my card out, but I just come by later and I just pry that thing off, and I'm gone. I didn't break this machine at all.
How many machines have you found like that?
I haven't found any. I'm not an economic crimes guy.
Okay.
I'm an education guy. I don't know the numbers of the ones they've... Put it this way, it's global. Yeah. It's not just Pinellas. I mean, it's all over the world they're doing this. Because most of these people stem from Eastern Bloc countries. Yugoslavia, Ukraine, all those Russian kind of little countries over there that are in the trouble right now. A lot of those guys come from those countries, and they come over here and they bring all that with them, the little Russian mafia stuff, and this is how they get their money to fund all their stuff.
Is there an identifier for a person like us to look at to see?
I would walk up and just be very cognizant. We're going to look, like, I want to look at these lights, see if there's any holes in there, with like a little camera lens looking down, like the front of his camera, you know, has a little camera lens about this big. If I'm looking up into the light panel, is there a small hole right there? What looks like a little lens? Why is it there? That would be suspicious to me. If I walk up to the ATM, and I kind of, this is where you put your money, or you put your card, and all of a sudden I pull on it, and I pull the whole thing off, the front of it off. Either you just got really strong, or somebody had something over it.
Yeah.
If you kind of pull, now look at this. Does this look like something you could even stick your finger in and pry? No, it's like kind of embedded into the machine even.
Yeah.
So you couldn't even get your fingers into this one if you wanted to. But when they overlay it, that one you could get your finger into and actually pry off. So just look at how some of the machines are laid out. If it looks like something's protruding, we got some more pictures to look at. If something looks like it's protruding, feel around. You know, when that camera holder, you could probably look around the corner and see if there's a hole in there. If there's a hole in the bottom of this card thing, it's probably a camera in there.
Would you recommend you go inside a store and do it instead of outside?
We're going to talk about that. I would recommend probably going in, just to be safe. It takes an extra 2 minutes of your day, but if you walk up to a teller and hand them your debit card and say, I need $60, they'll do it for you right there. They'll probably just run it through the thing, have you enter your digit, and they'll give you $60.
I was talking about some like grocery store that
yeah,
has
we can do
ATM.
cash back.
Because that's easier than outside.
Yeah, and you're probably way less likely to have something on a debit machine inside your store, because people are working there all the time. It'd have to be an inside job. This is kind of what it looks like. So this is the real card reader. This is a normal one. We build this one to go over because we want a storage device. We then overlay it over to the good one, and this is what the whole package looks like. So you got the good one, the bad one. We put the bad one over the good one, and now they form together and make one big one. And as this is going in, it's coming right back out, but I'm finding all the information is still stored in there.
Got a question.
Sir?
Do you know whether the institutions have some kind of job for someone checking on things like that?
They only check it if someone catches it or people start getting their stuff, they'll start reviewing the cameras. I'm not sure if every bank, if they looked over the weekend, if someone sits there and fast forwards and see, but there was a video I had and it showed a guy walking up to like the ATM machine, and right when he gets up to it, you see him pull up his shirt and he walks up and then pushes the device on. People are not watching that every day. Think of how many ATM machines are through Pinellas County right now. Thousands. There's nobody sitting there watching every camera. I mean, if something happens, they'll go back and review it, but not every day. There's no one sitting just, think how boring that would be, just sitting there looking at it.
You know, they have so many different machines. Why couldn't, something come up that the machine catches it? It seems to be so prevalent now that you would think the institutions would have something that would, I don't know.
You'd think, but like I said, a lot of it is non-intrusive to the machine. So you're not opening the machine, you're not trying anything, you're not doing anything to cause alarm to it. Yeah, I don't know if they'll start developing stuff that can detect foreign devices on there. Maybe what they should do is detect something that, like this device has to have some sort of technology. Maybe the machine can detect that has been placed on it, and then it sets off an alarm or sets off something that says, hey, something's been placed on the machine. I don't know if this is transmitting. Some of these are Bluetooth, some of these are not, but it's got to be running off some sort of power of some sort, I imagine, to keep it running. But I mean, it's just a chip, but something has to be running in there to store that. I know there's another.
I keep thinking that the Russians and that whole Eastern Bloc must have a superior education system to ours. They're so far ahead of us. I mean, they're coming up with all this stuff.
They're looking at one thing.
Yeah,
They're looking at one thing.
Well,
It's easier to control.
no, it's the technology I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That they have,
Well,
that
they
we
can also,
don't,
you
because
can
we
buy,
can't counteract it.
you can buy old ATM machines and get the old pieces off and help make them into bad pieces. That's the problem too, is, you know, there's no restriction on old ATM machines. So you can go and buy one, say, oh, I want to buy one, and they'll let you buy it. It's just like anything. I mean, we're selling tanks, right? I mean, there's a guy that's auctioning off like 100 tanks
That's right.
in a little while. We're selling military-grade equipment to people. So an ATM machine, who cares? That's like, you know, nothing. So some of the things you want to watch for, again, is that hidden camera. Is it up in the light area, or is it down on the card holder? The skimmer, like I said, is always going to be attached to where you put your card in. It has to get that magnetic code. Has to. That's the only way that they can get your information off there. There's nothing else on there. It's called a 1, 2, 3 line. I don't have my wallet on me, but you can see that little black line right there.
Yeah.
There's 3 lines on it, 1, 2, and 3, and it has all your information, your name, your account number, and some other information on it. That's all they want, is that 3 lines, and then they have to get your PIN number if they want to use the ATM machine to get money out. That's why I'm saying use your hand to block it over when you use that. This is kind of what an ID theft might look like as a bust. If we go and find somebody that's been doing it and we catch them, we're going to see a lot of money. Where's the money coming from? The ATMs. Yeah, they're going to the ATMs and they have all this stuff with the numbers and they're just getting money. Why do they have so many cards? I mean, these are hundreds, stacks of hundreds of cards. Why do they have hundreds of stacks of cards?
Because they're making cards.
They got to put it on something. Can't have a number in a card and a PIN number without putting it on something. They'll use any card that has a magnetic strip, hotel key, gift card, I can go online and just Google blank hotel keys, bulk order, and probably buy a box of 1,000 blank hotel keys. And I could just transfer all that information on each key. And if I have your PIN number, what do you think I'm going to do with a Sharpie? Write your PIN number on the front of it. I can go to any ATM machine, stick it in there, punch your PIN, and it's going to work. All it needs is that line. Sir?
Yeah, last year I had an experience at Fort DeSoto. A friend of mine lost his wallet. And they have a group of people out there that were taking the wallets and reproducing everything in it. And then leaving the wallet back on the ground.
Wow.
And
like just photocopying stuff? Or?
Yep, everything.
Wow.
Everything in your wallet. Because the park ranger, the fellow that lost his wallet says, well, good, all my cards are in here. And he says, you need to shut all them off, throw the cards away, and get all new ones.
Yeah, they just take pictures of them too, digitally take pictures of them.
Made new cards already.
Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, you don't actually have to physically lose it. They can get the number off there. Now, they can get the number, and that's the thing too. Visually, they need to get the front and back, because if you make any online purchase, they ask for that 3-digit number on the back. That's a security feature that says you have that card in hand. If I take a picture of your credit card and your driver's license and the backs of each, I could pretty much have your name, your address, your date of birth, your driver's license number. If I get your social security card, and your credit card number, and the front and back, I can go online and buy anything I want. Anything. If I have that info. So yeah, you could still have the cards in hand and stuff could still be taken from you. So I get all these cards, and all this stuff has storage on there. So we'd have to swipe every one of these cards and see whose name's attached to it, see how many victims we have. This up here is the maker. Once I have the information in the computer, I hook it up. I download what I need, I type in the name and the account number that I need, and then I swipe it, and now that card is good for whoever I just made it for. I don't need to stamp your name on there. I don't need to put your expiration date. I don't need your signature on the back. If I went to Walmart and bought something for $200, do they look at that card? Nope. Swipe it, put it in your pocket, they'll never even ask to see it.
They don't even care.
They don't care. So
You got to sign for it if it's over a certain amount of money.
But you sign those goofy
Sign
things,
those
you can't even see your signature.
But a readable signature.
some, if you use it as debit and you have that 4-digit number, they don't
That's
even ask
even
to
worse.
see it. So this is for $350. I could buy this nice little device right here. It's Bluetooth enabled, which makes it so I can transmit it. It stores 2,000 files, 2,000 records. So I'm going to stick this in my computer, and as I'm swiping stuff, it transmits it right to that Bluetooth. So as he's working for me in a restaurant, I'm sitting out in the parking lot. Every time he swipes a card for me, it'll pop right into my computer because it's Bluetooth. It's got about wireless range up to 26 feet, so if I'm sitting outside or close enough, I can just get it. Some of them are farther. You can get a farther range. If I'm sitting at a gas station, stuff like that. They're bi-directional. The software is very easy to use. The timestamps, it shows the date with every transaction. Battery powered, very easy to use. It's rechargeable battery, lasts 72 hours. So stuff is just easy for them to use. This is the device I was talking about earlier. As you can see, this is a quarter. This is the 123 device. This is what captures your card's information. As you can see, it's small, quarter, that thing. So I keep that in my apron. As you give me your thing, I take it. I was walking to the back. I reach in my apron. I swipe that card, and then I just go up to the terminal and I do my transaction for you. Put your card back. Walk over here. Give you your bill. You never know that it was swiped. Never. Until all that stuff happens. Okay, that's how small the device is. I then take the USB plug, whatever, plug it into there, plug it into my computer, download, all that stuff comes up. I then unplug that one, plug in this one, all my hotel keys that I just bought in bulk, plug in your information. Here's my card. Could have made it in a parking lot. Okay? So, easy schmeezy. Doesn't take but a couple different little devices, a little bit of software, some blank cards, and as long as I got your information, I can make boom, 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 boom. Some gas stations now are getting hit, and what they're doing is they're going in and they're placing this device inside the gas pump area where you're putting in your PIN number and swiping your card, and again, it's storing it or transmitting it to somebody. So what the gas stations are doing, they're now placing seals. You'll start seeing these seals now more and more on these gas pumps. I think the seal's on wrong, because if they open the door, is that going to break that seal? No. Hey, dummy. Like you got to figure out how to use the seals first, So you got to put them over the door. So if they open the door, you want to see that seal is broken. It's going to say, please notify the attendant if the seal's broken. See, please report any broken seals to the cashier. That means somebody's opened that, and no one. If the store employee opens it and breaks it, he'll scrape it off and then stick a new one on. If it's just broke and no one's replaced it, that means someone probably went in and put that device in there. I would not use that pump. I would pull on the pump. If you can grab something and pull on that door, make sure it's secure. Okay, we're gonna watch a quick video on gas pump stuff and see how hard that is.
Next, they'll counterfeit the seals.
Yeah, that's another thing. Yeah, it's not gonna. I went online and found the seals to buy.
Oh, no kidding. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
There's nothing you guys can do about
Just
it?
as you think you can top it,
They figure out a
By
way to
today,
more.
Using your card, you might want to check your statement. Crooks have been busy rigging pumps with skimmers that steal credit and debit card information. Inland Empire reporter Jacob Briscoe spoke with a man who knows all about the scam. He is live in Rancho Cucamonga with that story. Jacob.
That's right. Here in Rancho Cucamonga, local police have arrested 2 people who they say are stealing identities from gas pumps, but they say it's a much bigger problem than that. And in fact, local police all over the Inland Empire tell me the same thing. They say whether it's a gas card, a debit card, a credit card, no card is safe. You ever get caught?
I didn't get caught for that, no.
Well, call him Chad Smith. Just a guy getting gas. But not long ago, he stole identities at the pump for a living.
It's very easy to do.
How much money would you get out of this?
Easily I can make about like $1,000 a week.
He used what's called a card skimmer. It goes inside the card reader.
You get their name, their address, card number, if they're having to look around, make sure no one's watching.
Chad says he stopped doing that years ago, but today law enforcement officials across the Inland Empire say it's a growing problem.
No one expects to go to the gas pump and get your card and be the victim of an identity theft.
Detectives in Rancho Cucamonga discovered 2 card skimmers in recent months, each with
Up to 2,400 names, credit card numbers, and PIN numbers.
Police say today's skimmers are harder than ever to detect, and they transmit card data wirelessly.
We have to come around on a shift basis on here.
That has gas station managers like Tim Dershway feeling anxious. and open up each one of these pumps individually, checking for the type of devices. It has Chad feeling sorry.
It's not worth it. It really isn't.
The question is, why are you telling us this?
I want people to get caught. I really do feel bad for all my victims.
Of course, it's any gas station in the Inland Empire, and of course, this is not just a problem in the Inland Empire. Also, if you see anyone tampering with any of the station pumps, please alert the police and the gas station manager. Reporting live in Rancho Cucamonga, I'm Jacob Bresco.
I want to live there. Rancho Cucamonga. Yes, sir.
Why isn't he in jail?
He said he didn't get caught for that.
Oh, okay. Well, he just admitted it on.
Right, he admitted that he used to do it, but he didn't get caught for that.
doing it anymore.
So what's the penalty for that? I mean, if you get caught doing that, is
Identity theft depends on how much money you get from them.
Could be from
It's going to be a felony. More likely he's not going to steal $20. He's going to steal hundreds. Once it gets over 300, then you're going to felony him out.
You look at a couple of years in jail. Is that what it is?
It depends on how many victims. I mean, he could do county for 6 months.
See, that's the
or something easy. But if he's got 30 victims, each charge could be.
Oh, good.
You know,
Okay.
so he could go away for years. That way they could bundle them all together.
Yes, there's a gas station right over here on 22nd, and I was getting on my account, because I was charging the gas, something for $1, and I thought, now how did that happen? I was charged $1 from that gas station.
Swiped your card.
And that's, well, I had no idea why that was, but I knew it wasn't, something was wrong with that, so I stopped buying gas over there. And, but I never figured out why would they do that. And I think I've gotten it, it happened 2 different months that I got $1 charged.
Sometimes
Is
they'll
that
do.
a way they're just checking out that it works?
Sometimes they'll do, yeah. Sometimes they'll do small amounts just to see if your card works. Like they don't want to go make a big purchase and be standing there with 50 items. Sometimes they'll just go buy a pack of gum or a soda or something and see if it works. So I would just be very careful about that.
But it came right from that gas station.
I would switch your account,
And
your
get
card
that
number,
other
get a
card.
new card.
Get a
Get rid of that
different
card.
card.
Yeah, call your bank and say, I think this card's been compromised. I want a new card, and they'll just cancel that account. So anything that's tied to that.
It's been like 6 or 8 months, so nothing happened since then, but that doesn't mean it isn't out there.
Exactly.
Because it happens to me too, but it changes after 2 days. They charge you $1, and then they go into the amount.
Positive.
That you yeah. No, the credit card does it automatically.
Right.
And then 2 days later, it goes back to, if you bought $50 for the gas, that $1's taken off. That's
Yeah, maybe it's that gas
Did
station.
they
Maybe
say
that's
$1
ask them.
came out? Because I never
Yeah,
got $1 off.
I would check. I would check.
Maybe
It
just
does come
ask
out.
them, say, hey, do you guys charge an extra $1 for some reason?
No, it was an extra $1. It starts off with $1, and then when they get the card registered, or I guess checking it out.
Yeah, your actual gas is per.
Right. Yeah.
They took the $1 off of that.
Yeah. I would look into that.
Yeah, just
It
ask
happens
them.
to me all the time.
Ask speak to the
But
manager.
it changes
just
after
say,
2
hey,
days.
Tell the manager, hey, I've been using this a couple times. I've noticed $1, and he might just say, well, yeah, like you said, maybe it's just checking to see if the credit card works, so they can take the money out of your account.
Yeah.
It might do nothing, but it might do something. So better to check and be safe. For those of you that have cell phones and you go and you use Wi-Fi or you have tablets and you go to all these bookstores, McDonald's, Walmart, airports, and you're using public Wi-Fi, there's sniffer software, like sniffing software out there that you can download that will basically pull everybody that's on public. I can look at your stuff. I was in a class a couple months ago down in Fort Lauderdale, and the guy that was teaching the class had a little antenna on here, and he hit the screen to pop up what was on his screen. And out of the 140 cops that were in there, probably 70 or 80 of us were on the public Wi-Fi. Every one of us that were on public started popping up on his screen.
Wow.
We could see everybody's IP number for your internet. We could see numbers. We could see. He says, "Who was looking at the Thai restaurant down in Key Largo?" And some guys like. You can see where you searched. I mean, software's out there. So you need to find out what device you have. Do you have an iPhone? Do you have a smartphone, a Lexus, Nexus, whatever? Do you have an Apple tablet? Google how to stay safe on public Wi-Fi using my iPhone 5. It might just tell you the best way to stay safe is just to use your phone's data, because your phone is encrypted. Once you say, I want to use public, you basically just said, you know what, I'm opening the doors.
Come on in.
Come on in. Anybody sniffing me can see where I've been, what passwords I have, what accounts I've used. So it's better maybe to keep your doors locked and just use your data on your phone because you're encrypted. Now people go, but you know, if I go over my data, they're going to charge me $20. Do you want to lose your whole bank account, or do you want to spend $20? So figure out where your apples and oranges lay, and then figure out if you want to just go on public Wi-Fi,
Or turn it off.
turn it off. Yeah, don't even have it on.
Turn it off. Turn it on at home and turn it off in
Yeah, you can
public.
use your Wi-Fi at home. That's fine. Because as long as your public, as long as your router and stuff's encrypted. I know I'm talking a lot, probably technology stuff. If you're not sure how to do it, ask somebody that's younger than you. A lot of these younger kids and stuff know all this stuff. Ask your Bright House provider. Ask somebody, or Google it. How do I encrypt my Wi-Fi? How do I do this? And sometimes you'll be able to figure it out on your own. So now we talked about the credit and debit card. Now I'm going to show you this real quick, and then we're going to go to a chart. Think about this when you're using credit versus debit. Check card provider, so you can understand the terms, perks, and security features associated with your debit or credit card. So a debit card is linked to your bank account. So the money you spend comes from your own personal checking or savings, and you're not charged interest for using it. But credit cards work like what? Short-term loans. You can temporarily use that money belonging to that institution, but you always have to pay it back, usually with interest, so it just depends. Do the math when using a credit card. Always be aware of any interest may be charged on a purchase so that you know how much you'll be actually spending. And if you already use some credit, if you already have some credit card debt, there's online debt calculators that you can use. You can punch in, well, I spent $10,000, they're charging me 16% interest. How do I need to pay this to get it down quicker? Because if you're only paying the minimum, sometimes the minimum, you got a minimum payment of $50 and you got $10,000, $35 is going towards your interest and $15 is going towards your principal. Take you forever. $15 a month to pay $10,000. You're gonna be giving that to your kids when you die. You know what I mean? It's like, thanks, Mom. So don't be doing that. Take care of your credit always, with the exception pay your credit bills on time and strictly stay within your credit limits. Check your credit report for free, and we'll show you how to do that. There is a website, this annualcreditreport.com. I'd write that down, annualcreditreport.com. Let's look at it real quick over here. So I go to annualcreditreport.com, homepage. There's some stuff about ID theft. You can request yours. Now, these are the three big companies, Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. It says get a free copy of your credit report every 12 months from each credit reporting company. From each. So if there's three, how many months should I wait in between each one?
4.
4 to 4 months. So in January, I'll send an Equifax request for a credit report. So we'll wait March, April, May, June, maybe get one from Experian. July, August, September, maybe October. September, October, I'll get one from TransUnion. So really, you can get 3 per year for free. So from here, you go up here, request yours. They're not asking you to put a credit card in, because you go to that one company, they're going to say, put your credit card in, because we're going to send you one every year, but it's going to cost you $12. This is basically just filling out the form. It's going to tell you here that they don't give you your credit scores. If you do, you're going to have to pay for it. So basically, we're going to fill out the form. We're going to pick the reports you want, and request. You can even get them online. That's how easy it is. All right?
And it's safe, right?
And it's safe. And as you can see, what does it say up here?
Secure.
S.
S.
Yep. And then right here, you see this? Security report. It's encrypted. The connection to the server is encrypted. Okay, so it's telling you right there. That's good. So you can go here and just get your stuff, get your credit reports. I got one. I tested it out, got one. Perfect. Request your credit reports. Now it's going to ask you for your what? Social, birthday. I mean, you're putting a lot of pertinent information in there, but it is secure, it is encrypted. So you put all that stuff in, you type in this little security code, you hit next, and it'll ask you for maybe who you want it from, and then it'll shoot it to you online. It'll send you an email with your credit stuff. Now, I would print that and delete that email immediately. Do not leave that email in there, because it's going to have probably your name and social on it.
Is it a person that actually looks at that to do your credit report?
It's just a machine.
The machine does it, okay.
Yeah, you'll get it emailed right back to you. And then you can go here about what to look for, protect your identity, frequently asked questions. So this annualcreditreport.com is a good site. Anybody need a pen to write that down? You got a whole bunch on the desk up here. If anybody needs one, I can throw you one. So let's look at this last chart here before we finish.
Write it down.
Or if you need to see me afterwards, just come see me. So this is a split chart. Put a line, imaginary line down here. So we got debit card versus credit card. What's the fee for a debit card? Usually free, right? It comes from your bank. They're like, hey, you can use our debit card as much as you like, blah, blah, blah. It's free. How much is a credit card? Varies, right? Some of them are 25 a year, some of them are 125 a year. Just, you know, are we using Platinum? Are we using American Express? Are we using this gold? Are we using this silver? What, you know, are we just using a Chase, whatever? So it varies. So the winner there is kind of the free. Now, where's that money coming from your debit?
Checking.
Your job, right? You're getting paid, or you're getting Social Security, or you're getting retirement money. You're getting income from somewhere. Where's that money come from the credit card?
From
From the bank, right? Through the institution. If you got a Chase credit card, it's coming from Chase Bank. That's where your money is. That's where it's coming from. What rewards do you get for using your debit? Anybody get a reward for using your debit card? No? Nothing? Don't get a thank you card in the mail? What do you get?
We get a special deal from our credit union that if we use the debit card 10 times a month, we get a 3% on our savings.
That's not bad.
Oh, wow.
That's a credit union. Not bad. Most banks, 0. Don't give you nothing. Okay? They're basically just saying you can use it for free. Now, if we get a credit card, we get sometimes points, 1 to 3% cash back. We get hotel air miles, right? That's pretty good. So if I'm spending, now mind you, you guys are not, I'm going to say, in that family stage anymore. You don't have 3 or 4 kids running around. You don't probably have the big house, the 3 or 4 cars, the insurance. You're probably more in the retired set mind frame. When you've got spending $5,000 a month on a debit card, what does that equal a year? $60,000 of what? Points, cash back, and hotel air? Heck yeah, that's a good deal. As opposed to this. So think about if you're using that credit card as your debit, you could be racking up all this stuff. I mean, wouldn't it be nice to go stay in a hotel for a week for free because you've used enough points? If you're the victim and that money is stolen, your $5,000 in your savings account stolen, you're the victim. If that $5,000 gets stolen from your credit card, bank's the victim. You're the third party. Don't be all worried. Oh, they got my credit card. Oh my gosh, they just took $5,000. It's not your money. Just file a police report and let the bank handle it. Okay? Don't cry over it. It's their money. But if they steal your money and they get your savings and your checking and your retirement and your IRA and your Roth, all this stuff, then cry. Cry hard because no one's going to replace that money, more than likely. They might, if they do, maybe 30 to 90 days after they do their investigation. But you're going to be out that money for that time. Price difference, say you buy something, you buy a $1,000 TV, and a week later Best Buy sells it for $900. Is your debit card going to kick you back $100 because you found it cheaper somewhere? Yeah. Credit card companies usually will refund you back the difference if you get it within a certain amount of time frame. So you can send in the purchase thing, or you can send in the ad, or whatever it is they want you to send. You send it to a credit card company, $100 credit to your account because you found it somewhere cheaper. Okay, your debit card is not going to do that for you. Does your debit card give you a warranty on the things you buy? No. Most credit cards will. They'll extend the warranty or give you a longer one. Okay, so think about that if you're buying things. Again, if you lose that money stolen out of your debit account, sometimes 30 to 90 days before you get it back. Do you think your car payment company cares that your money's stolen? Do you think your house payment company thinks your car? Do you think your medical doctor bills? Do you think your retirement, whatever stuff that you're paying, do you think they care that your money's taken? No, they want their money. So if it takes 30 to 90 days, you're going to be 30 to 90 days late unless you can borrow some money. Here, credit card money gets stolen, usually the next day they'll refund that money back into your account and they'll do a report. Okay? When you're younger, does a debit card bill help build your credit? No, you're paying your bills from your money. You're not borrowing money. How do you build credit? You borrow money from somebody and we pay it back. So yes, a credit card will help you with your credit. So the advantages, I think, are more from this side. And the advantages, too, is you're using it every day. Go to your bank or go online and search, great credit card offers, and you might find the one that gives you 3% or hotel deals or money back or warranties and stuff. And say, hey, I want one for $1,000. I want a $1,000 cash limit. That's it. You don't need one with $20,000. What do you need $20,000 on your credit card for? Nothing, really. Unless you're a high roller or you travel a lot. Then maybe bump it to $5,000. But just get something that you normally would spend on an average month. If you spend $1,000 a month, get a $1,000 credit card. If you spend $5,000 a month, get a $5,000 or $7,500 credit card. And say, this is how I want to pay my bills, or this is how I want to pay my restaurants, or this is how I want to get gas. Because I'm telling you, if they get your debit that's linked to all your bank accounts, they're going to clean you out, and you're going to have nothing. Okay, that's an ugly, ugly sight for you.
If you have a credit card and it's $5,000, they could only steal $5,000?
They can only max take $5,000. But again, you're not the victim. You're the third party guy just saying, hey, someone got your guys' money and my name was on it. Sorry, I didn't do it. I was here and my wallet got stolen or whatever. I don't know how they got it. They must have swiped it somewhere. But you're not the victim. That's the good thing. You're the guy carrying their card around. They don't care. I'm telling you, they don't care. They're going to take the report, they're going to write it off like everything else, and they're going to proceed on. How much money? He steals $2,000 from my credit card, so we catch him. Do I even want to prosecute him? How much is an attorney from Chase Bank going to cost me to prosecute him in a court of law? He stole $2,000 bucks. I got to do the case study, I got to do interviews, I got to go get all the signature stuff that he did, I got to get the cameras, I got to interview the police, I got to subpoena people. How many hours of attorney did I just use to prosecute him? Let's say 20 hours to just get to the court. How much does an attorney cost an hour? 150 times 20 is how much? Oh, $2,150. I just went over how much he stole. They don't care, they'll write it off.
So in other words, he gets off scot-free?
More than likely, they won't even prosecute.
Well, I thought the police would do that, would prosecute
They
him
will
anyway.
look, if he's local and they can catch him and they've got a case, they'll do it. If he stole it here and drives to another country or flies out of the country, it's a write-off. They're not even going to look for him.
Well, that's got to change.
I'm telling you, that's why you got interest rates. That's why you get charged interest to cover all these costs. Yes, ma'am.
Well, I had that to happen to me twice this year. I knew absolutely nothing about it. I got a call from the credit card company, and they told me what was going on, and to get rid of that card because I would get a new one in the mail in 5 days.
Okay.
And I have the 2 credit cards I have are for Bank of America, and not only that, they take care of it. I never saw any charges, anything different on my reports. But they also upgraded my credit card that I'm eligible for more benefits. Now,
oh, really?
Because I overpay every time. So when I overpay, after a quarter, I get $25 for overpaying and making it.
All right. Well, hey, it sounds like a good deal to me.
I was trying
So,
to figure out what
be a good consumer and check.
Yeah.
Check into Wells Fargo, check into Citibank, check into Chase, check into all these different companies. You can go online and just look for best credit card deals, and they'll give you like the 10 or 20 best credit card deals, and they'll say this one is 3 minutes left. Yeah, we're almost done. We'll say, hey, we'll give you points, we'll give you a hotel, we'll give you this back. The other one might say this one will cost you $25 a year. This one might cost you $30 a year. This one might be free interest for 12 months. Just see what deals are out there. Okay, because there are deals out there that you can be getting paid benefits to use their card. So why are we using debit, getting no benefits, when we could be using a credit card, doing the same purchases every week that you're doing, doctor's office, food, gas, movies, eats, whatever you're doing, why not get money back for that? Why not pay yourself back somehow for the stuff that you're getting zero benefits for? All this other stuff, rewards, none. Why are we not paying ourselves back with the credit card? Would give us a bunch of stuff. So just look at that. Make sure you're paying it on time. I wouldn't even pay it every month. I would maybe pay my card off every 2 weeks or so. Some every week maybe. Wow. And maybe Monday or Friday. Avoid your interest.
I just go home and transfer the money,
or
online.
You go home and transfer the money that day.
Yeah.
I was, he does it daily. Some people do it weekly. You might be avoiding your high interest fees.
Well, you get 30 days to pay it off.
You get 30 days, but if you're paying it off every week or 2 weeks, you never have to worry about that 30-day period.
Okay.
You're always paying it off on time.
As soon as you get the bill, you just pay it.
You don't even get the bill. You just, like he says, you go online, you can just transfer money over.
A word about the papers that come out, offering your credit card and all the information. How about shredding that so that somebody don't fill your name out?
I just got one last night. It was my Wells Fargo credit card statement, and on the bottom of it had 2 checks. It says here, pay off, what other? If I were just to throw that in the garbage, Joe Schmo could pick that out of the garbage, write cash on there, put a fake signature, and go to the bank and cash that. And it's got a checking account number on the bottom, or my number on the bottom. Shred anything you get that says application, or you've been approved, or whatever. I mean, shred like either you're putting it in a shredder, or you got a fireplace, or you're getting your scissors and you're cutting that thing 35 times. You know, don't just one time it in the middle, because they can take it and put it together and